Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS. Let's get to the news now, folks. What I'm about to tell you is some of the most intriguing NFL buzz we've seen in a while, and it's all centered around a potential blockbuster move that could reshape the NFC South in ways we haven't seen in recent memory. It's coming from some reliable league sources, including Adam Schefter, who are whispering about a possible trade that could really shake things up in Atlanta, Arizona, and beyond. And believe me, this isn't just idle speculation. We're talking about a move that could have long-lasting implications for the Falcons' Super Bowl aspirations, and it's worth taking a deep dive into what's happening behind the scenes. So here's the scoop. The Arizona Cardinals, currently sitting at a tough 3-9 record and facing some serious salary cap challenges. Specifically, they're in the red by about $18 million after losing Kyler Murray to injuries, and with an offense that's struggling to find rhythm, are reportedly open to trading away their young, explosive wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. This is a guy who, at just 23 years old, has already shown he has the potential to be an elite receiver in this league. His numbers this season are impressive. He's caught 40 passes on 69 targets for nearly 600 yards, averaging about 15 yards per catch, which puts him among the top rookies in the league. He's got 4 touchdowns in just 10 games, and his ability to make contested catches, over 50% of them, in fact, shows he's not afraid of the big moments. Plus, his yards after catch, YAC, are up there with some of the best, totaling over 320 yards, and he's been a nightmare for defenses with his separation ability, averaging 2.4 yards per route run, which ranks in the top 5 among rookie receivers. Now, the reason for this potential trade isn't just about Harrison's talent. It's about the Cardinals trying to reset their franchise. They're in a rebuild mode with an eye on the future, especially after their recent struggles. Their odds of making the playoffs have plummeted, from around +10, 0 earlier this season to an astronomical +20, 0 now, reflecting their shaky defense and inconsistent offense. The Cardinals are prioritizing youth on the offensive line, especially at tackle, and are willing to part ways with Harrison now to accelerate their rebuild before the 2024 offseason. They're also looking to free up some cap space, especially with Kyler Murray's upcoming extension that's projected to be around $45 million, which makes their current cap situation even more complicated. For the Falcons, this could be a game changer. A healthy and explosive Marvin Harrison Jr. lining up alongside Drake London and Kyle Pitts would give Atlanta a legit trio of tall, talented receivers who can dominate mismatches in the red zone. And when we look at their current offensive projections, adding a player like Harrison could push their passing game to new heights. Right now, Atlanta averages around 198 passing yards per game, but with a boost from Harrison, that number could easily jump to over 250 yards per game, an increase of about 28%. That's a significant upgrade for Desmond Ridder or whoever is under center, and it could open up the entire offense, making play action more effective and creating more big play opportunities. Meanwhile, the Falcons' defense has been solid, but their offense has been the key to their success this season. With Harrison's ability to stretch the field, he's comparable to some of the best vertical threats in the league, with a career projection of over 300 yards a season. They'd have a reliable target to complement London's physicality and Pitt's versatility. This would make the Falcons' red zone offense even more potent, with their tall receivers creating mismatches and forcing defenses into tough decisions. The red zone targets could increase from about 55% success rate to nearly 70%, and play action would become even more dangerous with 2 high receiver sets. Now, it's not just about adding Harrison to the mix. The Cardinals, in this scenario, are looking to rebuild their team through the draft, focusing on bolstering their pass rush with early picks on edge rushers and offensive tackles, especially since they're also trying to develop their young quarterback and protect him. They're not optimistic about their playoff chances at this point, and trading Harrison could be seen as a way to get some valuable draft capital, possibly their first-round pick in 2026, which could be crucial for their long-term plans. This move would also free up more cap space to focus on their rebuild, especially since they're trying to reset after a rough season. On the other side, the Falcons are sitting pretty at 4-8, but that record doesn't tell the whole story. They're in a tight race in the NFC South, and with the right moves, they could position themselves as serious contenders once again. Adding a player like Harrison Jr. would not only boost their offense but also send a message that they're serious about competing for a Super Bowl. With Kirk Cousins or even a potential veteran like Taylor P. at quarterback, the Falcons would gain a much-needed boost of explosiveness and consistency, especially in the passing game. The projections show a potential increase of around 9 more touchdowns over the season, and with a trio of tall receivers, they'd become one of the most dangerous passing offenses in the league. And let's not forget the playoff implications. The Falcons are sitting at plus 500 odds in the NFC South, which keeps them very much in the hunt, especially if they can improve their offense. The NFL playoff picture is always shifting, and with a move like this, if it happens, the Falcons could see their odds of making the playoffs jump from plus 300 to plus 600, with a real shot at making some noise in the postseason. Their chances of reaching the NFC Championship game could improve significantly, especially if they can lock down the division and get into the playoffs with momentum. The overall picture here is one of a team that's on the cusp of something big. The Falcons have shown flashes of greatness this season, but they need that extra spark to really push them over the top. A trade for Marvin Harrison Jr. could be exactly what they need to turn their offense into a nightmare for defenses in the NFC. It's a bold move, but in the NFL, boldness often leads to greatness. And with this potential deal, the Falcons could be setting themselves up for a dynastic run, much like the great teams of the past, forging their own legacy in the NFL's most competitive division. Of course, all of this hinges on whether the Cardinals are willing to part ways with such a promising young star. But given their current situation, it's not out of the realm of possibility. They're looking to reset, and Harrison's talent could be the centerpiece of their rebuild, or it could be the final piece the Falcons need to make a real Super Bowl push. Either way, this is one of those stories to watch closely in the coming weeks, because the NFL never sleeps, and surprises are always around the corner. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Atlanta Falcons news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now I want to hear from you, Falcons fans. What do you think about this potential move? Would you love to see Marvin Harrison Jr. in the red and black? Do you believe this could be the missing piece to finally get Atlanta back to the Super Bowl? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons. This could be one of those off-season moves that defines the franchise for years to come. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates and analysis, so stay tuned for everything Falcons related. We're in this together and the best is yet to come for Atlanta.